the direction in which we should move, the direction of creating a more perfect union, which is what the preamble talks about. Because there was fear that the Articles of Confederation created too much centrifugal force. We were flying apart. We had succeeded in a revolution, but we really were not going to hold together unless we had a more central government. George Washington couldn't even raise money for the troops for the Continental Army without volunteers from the states. We needed to move in that direction. But today, whatever the depth of our disagreements, the vectors point in different directions. Some of us in this room want a weaker central government and more states' rights. Others want a central government that is more capable of countering corporate power over our politics. We don't even agree in what direction to go. And so I'm afraid that at this moment in our history, calling a convention a creature whose fundamental composition, whose DNA we barely understand, would not make a lot of sense, especially because I'm not ready to give up even on politics, believe it or not. Take the views of the Tea Party. It's been remarkably successful in moving the Republican Party in the direction that it likes, in moving the Republican caucus in a direction that takes more seriously the problems of national debt. It hasn't gotten rid of Obamacare, but I wouldn't be sure that it won't succeed in doing that. To say at this moment that politics is broken, we have to put the Constitution up for grabs in a new convention seems to me to be risking something that has stood us in enormously good stead over the course of 2 centuries, something that has been the model for the world. American exceptionalism is in large part the result of constitutional exceptionalism. Of course it has to adapt to changing times. I agree with Sandy Levinson that that was the greatest line in the greatest Supreme Court decision of all. A constitution that will endure for the ages. But for the Constitution to endure for the ages, we have to continue the intergenerational conversation that links us to the framers and that enables us to move toward a more perfect union, not necessarily put it all up for grabs, which is why, although I'm trying to have as open a mind as possible about this, the doubts I have about the wisdom of a new convention, not a runaway convention, but any convention, overcome my desire to experiment. And I do want to end by thanking again both Larry Lessig and Mark Meckler, because I think that the conversation they have begun here, whether it leads to more discussion of a convention or not, is something that is long overdue.